is stuff that you kind of need to do outside of the game before you actually play a match, but I'll talk about that later, maybe in another video. Right now, we'll just talk about kind of how the game is set up. Each team has its own nexus, and the point of the game is to destroy the enemy team's nexus. In order to do that, there are 3 lanes, a mid lane, a top lane, and a bottom lane. And in these 3 lanes, each team has 2 towers, followed by a 3rd inhibitor tower, and then an inhibitor, and then the base has 2 towers to it. Each tower does a lot of damage if you were to just run into it. You probably can't take too many hits by yourself. Luckily, every 30 seconds, minions spawn from the base and will walk into these lanes. And there's 6 to 7 minions per what's called a minion wave. And the minion waves will attack the first enemy that it sees along that path, be it an enemy minion, or a tower, or an enemy champion. So, we put people into each of these 3 lanes. We have a top laner, a mid laner. In the bottom, we have an AD carry and a support. And the 5th person will be in the jungle, which is kind of the area in between the lanes. And there's monsters inside of the jungle that you can get experience off of, as well as there's some buffs in there. But the big, really the whole point of the jungle is to kind of lurk in the shadows and come into the lanes and try and gank and get behind the enemy laner and kill him with the help of your lane partner. The support's job is really just to make sure the AD carry gets as much of the gold as he can from the minions, and making sure he doesn't really die. That's why it's called a support. He's supporting the AD carry. Your goal in lane is 1, to get as much gold as you can off of the minions that are in the lane. Whenever you attack a minion, if it dies from one of your attacks, it's called the last hit, you get 20 to like 30 gold depending on the minion. And you use the gold to buy items in the game that make you stronger and make it easier for you to achieve your goal of destroying their nexus. Now, of course, there's going to be lane opponents versing you in the lane, so your goal is to get stronger than them and be able to kill them so that you can take down their towers and eventually their nexus. The one thing that's also in the lane is the inhibitor. If you kill an inhibitor, it starts spawning very large minions that called super creeps that deal a lot of damage and have a lot of health and are very hard to kill and very hard to deal with. But that is right here after 1, 2, 3 towers. So at the start of the game, you start off with some money. I start off with 475. You can see it right down here. And that means I can start out with some items. Now, if you're new to the game, your best bet is to go onto a website like solomid.net or mobafire.com and search your champion and just find what you should build. I'll tell you, I bought this crystalline flask that gives me a potion that regens my health and mana, as well as 3 health potions to regen my health. Every time you level up, you can put a point in a skill, and there are 4 skills. So I'm level 1, and I get to start with a skill, which is my Baleful Strike that just does damage to a target.
I smell death.
When I get level 2, I'll get to put another point in these abilities, but I don't have them yet. Or I could put it into Q to make my Q do more damage. The one exception is my R ability is my ultimate. And this is like my strong ability. You see, it has a very long cooldown, 2 minutes.
The magic!
And
It calls to me!
I can't put a point in that until I'm level 6. So level 6 becomes a big point that you might start seeing some action, because that's when people start getting their ultimates. What I'm doing right here is my jungler is actually going to start at this monster camp that will spawn at 1 minute and 55 seconds into the game. Now, my minions won't reach their point in lane until about 2 minutes, so I can help them out with it a little bit without me really losing anything for it. So
Stalking
I'm just
prey
up here to
again?
make sure that the enemy isn't trying to go into our jungle and take our big camp. I will say that there are two buffs in the jungle. There's the blue buff and the red buff on the other side. The blue buff gives mana regen without potion, which is very important for like mana users. And the red buff applies an additional hit onto your attacks that slows the enemy as well as deals damage over time. Now, because I helped out my jungler, I did miss one damage on one minion, and I missed that CS. But I got that one, so you can see that I got 19 gold for it. So now there's the enemy I'm versing.
Stalking prey
Again, I really want to get this CS, but I also want to force him out of lane, so I'm going to try and auto-attack him and deal some damage to him when he tries to CS. Now you see he's using the spells I made.
Tire me.
Now he's a melee champion, so I have a little bit of an advantage. But I did take a lot of damage. Every time you, Every time you attack, if there's any minions in the general vicinity of him that aren't his side, they will start attacking you. That's interesting. He just went very aggressive. So what I did there was I stunned him so that my minions would start attacking him. And I just got level 2, so I was able to put a point into my E ability, which is new.
It's only a short way.
Now, the reason I chose the Crystalline Flask is I have a very weak start as a character, and I knew that I could kind of take a lot of damage like this if, depending on who I was versus this character. So by starting with this Crystalline Flask and a lot of mana pots, I can get my health back up. Now he's using those skill shots. If I was playing better, not just explaining things, I'd be dodging those. It's very important that I dodge those, because if I take too much damage, I'll have to leave the lane, or worse die. So there, I dodged that one. Now, the tower will attack the minions, but I still want to make sure that I get the last hit to be able to get the goal from it. Now, I've got all of my abilities, so I'm going to use kind of my combo. My combo is I stun him, and then hit him with my W, and hit him with my Q. So, stun, W, Q, takes a large portion of damage, but I use a large amount of my mana. Now the thing is I notice he doesn't have any health pots left of him. So, basically, it's dangerous for him to stay in lane this low. I mean, he might have to back out here soon, or he might end up giving me a kill.
An ally has been slain.
In either case, it's really good for me, because if he leaves the lane, he loses all the experience and the gold from killing these minions. And if I get a kill, then the same thing happens, and I get a bunch of extra gold. Okay. So I'm going to wait on using my combo, because I don't want to get hit by these minions for no reason. But I'm going to use my now. I actually missed my W there. So that didn't work out so well for me. And I'm starting to run low on mana. So really right now, I'm just going to focus on trying to get all of this gold from these minions here. And you'll notice CSing under, they're getting the last hit on these little minion things is called CSing. And you'll notice it's kind of hard under the tower because it deals a large amount of damage. And I do not deal very much damage with my auto attacks. So, but I will say that for mages, those big minions there can take 2 hits from the tower, like the melee minions, and then I can auto-attack and get a third one, so it does a little bit less than half of their health. Whereas these little minions, it does about 75% of their health, so I need to auto-attack them once to get them low enough that I can last them while the tower does damage. So if I press tab, I see that he's got 17 CS and I have 29. That means that I have got more golden points. So I hit level 6, which gives him an ult. Now I need to be careful because the same thing's going to happen to him soon. One thing I've been neglecting is I should be auto-attacking him while he's trying to get this. But I haven't. Because I haven't been playing particularly well. But it's dangerous for me to do so because he hit me with those barrels a lot easier if I go into auto-attack. Now, I'm running a little bit low on health. I've got a lot of gold. I know that he's got his ultimate up, and I'm kind of afraid of it. So I might just, after this minion waves die, go back, get full healed, and spend my gold because mine's going to be stronger. Now, jungler just came in and ganked me, tried to kill me, and that's kind of exactly what you should do. You'll notice that he missed his ultimate there, and he wasn't able to cheat me with that, so he probably would have killed me.
Yes.
And I'm safe under my tower for now. But once these minions here die, I'm gonna go ahead and go back. Now what skills to put points in, all comes with time. But again, you can just find a guide online that'll tell you whatever champion you decide to play, what's the best thing to do. Now I'm gonna go ahead and back. I noticed that he went back already, so he's gonna come back up full power. It's very good. And again, knowing what you need to buy, it's all very dependent on what champion you're playing. I'll just say I bought these because they give me mana regen. You can see that, 3 mana regen. Health, which makes it a little bit more defensive, and 15 ability power, which is how I do damage. So now I literally do more damage because I have 30 more ability power. Now you'll notice I'm using my abilities on these minions because I can't kill them with auto attack, and that's okay to do, really. If I couldn't kill him with an auto attack, I might as well use my mana on getting the gold, because once that gold goes away, you know, I can never get it back. Now I see that my jungler has pinged out that he's going to give me a gank here. So I'm going to try and kill this guy. And my jungler is quite able to finish off the
Slain an enemy.
job. Now one thing I haven't talked about is summoner spells, which I've got. Well, their jungler came in to try and kill me, and I was luckily able to survive.
Suffering awaits.
But I have 2 summoner spells that have a very long cooldown. One of them is Flash, and that's that instant kind of escape mechanism. And the other one I have is Ignite, that adds a little bit of damage over time. It says it does 210 damage over 5 seconds. And you notice they have 5-minute cooldowns, and this one's 3.5 minutes. So you know that's a long amount of time, so you have to use them effectively. I did use my ultimate there. Let's see what he's got. So what I'm looking for when I see his items is I see that he's got more damage, obviously, but I also want to make sure that he doesn't have magic resist. And what magic resist does is it's a defensive stat against my type of damage. The idea is magic resist will make me deal less damage to him. Because he doesn't have that, I know my damage is going to do pretty close to its full amount. It's very important.
Is that a short joke?
So you notice I haven't left my tower very much.
Enemy killing spree.
Yes.
I haven't left my tower very much, and that's just because his spells and abilities are much better at pushing the minion waves than I am. And I'm honestly pretty content to just sit under the tower here
It's
and
only a short way.
see
Is that a
get
short
those minion
An
joke?
kills.
ally has been slain.
Dead.
An enemy has been slain.
Alright. So I'm gonna count how much damage I do. 400 damage, plus another 250 is 650, plus another 350.
Give up now.
there as they tried to kill me. So 650 plus 350 is about 1,000 damage. I know that if I use all of my spells, I'm going to do a little bit under 1,000 damage. I can use that information to know whether or not I can kill the guy.
The magic.
And I'm actually going to save
calls
up
to me.
for this item here, so I'm not going to buy anything. I need 60 points. Only 1,000. But you'll notice that because I'm playing so passively and allowing him to hit my tower, mine's a little bit, I mean, it's not low, it's at like 80%, but his is at 100%. Now, this isn't the worst thing this early on in the game, but at some point, I am going to want to take his tower because I need to get it. The one thing I didn't do there is I neglected to call missing in action. He just went from middle lane down to bot lane. I know bot lane is in a lot of trouble.
An ally has been slain.
So, but because he did that, he's not in this lane anymore. That means we can get some free damage on this turret, and probably a lot of it. Now you'll notice that this area is like gray. I don't know where it is. Or I don't know who's there. So what I can do is I can put these ward things,
Suffering away.
and now I've got vision of that area.
Your soul will come to
So because we took his tower down to about half health because he was gone for so long,
again.
and that's the trade-off. I mean, he did get a kill bot, I believe. So, you know, is it worth it? Who's to say?
Yes.
But there's a lot of. It's not just this game is not just CSing and mechanically playing it.
Has destroyed.
There's also thinking about what's going to happen if I stay out this hard, because I might be hard. Now, luckily, I'm at the point that I can totally take her. But I didn't see that this guy's
An
coming
ally
back,
has
and
been
now
slain. Enemy
and I
double
died.
kill.
But that's just because I was so far away from my tower, and I didn't think about where everybody was on the map. Now the good thing is, because that person
Your
came from
team
top
has
down to try
destroyed
and
a turret.
defend middle, he got a lot of free damage on that tower. Well, he could have got a lot of free damage, but he didn't really capitalize on it. He was able to get free CS. I mean, I am playing on a new account, so people aren't that great at the game. They're learning. But
Stalking prey
he could have
again.
pushed up and started getting some damage on that tower. Now, because I'm dead, he's going to be at least pretty good damage on my tower. So I'm going to count my damage again because I just bought some more ability power, which is what my damage scale's off of. And I do 500 plus 350 is 850 plus 400 is 1250. He's got 1500 health, so I can't. My goal in doing this is I want to see if I can kill him before he comes in. If I can do that,
I will
he's going to
swallow
be in
your
a lot of trouble.
soul.
Obviously, if I can just blow him up in one shot. It's very hard to do that in this game. But my character excels
It's
at
only a
doing
short
just
way.
that. So I noticed that he's at 1,000 health. Checking his items, he doesn't have any magic resist yet.
I smell death.
Which means I can do basically. Now, I noticed that she was coming in, but I also saw that my. I died, but I'm assuming he's going to kill me. I hope. Maybe not. Well, he didn't get her. If he was better, he would have got her easily. She got screwed. That's just the issue, but that's okay. So again, he's probably going to get some damage on the tower, unless my jungler comes in and defends my mid, which is what you should be doing right now. Now, because their 80 carry left bot lane, we were able to get that tower.
Your turret has been destroyed.
It wasn't for free or anything, but it was good at least.
An enemy has been slain.
should do is now we've cleared their first 2 towers, which means we have a lot of map
It's
control. It's
only a
very
short way.
scary for them to be
Got a short
past or this far out, like where our towers
An
are.
ally has been
Since
slain.
they'd have to run all the way back there to get under their kind of safe point.
I am evil.
So
Stop
what we should do
laughing.
is we should rotate the dragon. Now I don't want to.
I smell death.
Now I'd like for my whole team to be there because this could turn into a 3 versus 4 if my team doesn't show up. But
Stalking
it looks
prey
like we
again.
can probably take this for free. Now what the dragon does is it gives you large, which is very, very.
I can see the fear.
My team.
You have been slain.
Again, these are new players, so I should have said you guys should be here. If they were all there, we would have
Your
easily won
turret
that
has
fight.
been destroyed.
But whatever. No, they were in that lane when we died. They weren't walking there. So we lost that tower because there's nobody there defending.
Your
it,
commands tire me.
which, you know, that's what happens when 2 people die. What we need to do is we need to stop her getting that tower. So we have 2 towers, that's
Yes.
we're not gonna be able to catch her. Go after something else. Maybe we can. Oh, that was very good.
Enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
I don't want to die to tower. Look how much damage that did to leave the tower. And it did that much damage because, even though she's a tank. So what we need to do is push mid.
Yes.
Because they die, we'll probably be able to hold this tower. Now you'll notice I'm a very squishy champion, so I'm constantly in that because I'm afraid of death. My great
An ally has been slain. Slain an enemy. Killing spree. Enemy rampage.
Stalking prey again.
Now, I could go in and try and kill that Riven, but I will surely die to that command.
Your
down the
commands
outside.
tire me.
Play safe. In fact, I should back off. Now, Cho'Gath has had free time in this top lane while his Riven's been chasing us all around the map, and he could have been pushing and gotten that tower. But again, I'm playing with new people, so they don't necessarily know these things about how to pressure the map. And that's one of the biggest things that new people need to learn. No, I just bought another damage item. Like, this literally just gives ability power and ignores some of their defenses. So I'm all damage right now. I have no defensive stats.
The magic.
And
It
I'll
calls
say
to
that
me.
if you look up a build online, everything is situational. There may be builds that say I should buy a defensive item by now. But if I'm confident in my ability to play defensively, then I will buy it and don't need a defensive item. So I'm telling Draven to get the inhibitor because there are 3 people top right now, and that means they're pretty much giving us this inhibitor for free.
slain.
Your command's tired.
So I'm just chasing her off so that my teammates can consider her free. And that's just kind of useful. Knowing how to use the mouse. So if I go in for that kill, I use my summoner spell to flash to jump
Suffering
over there.
awaits.
And now I'm out safe and sound. So the big buffs that are on the map, the dragon, which is a gold buff, and the baron that gives everyone a giant buff, you want to try and know when those respawn. So dragon died around 18 minutes, which means it respawns every 6 minutes. So around that time, I wanted to make sure that my team is prepared to be able to take that. Little buffs have 5-minute
It's
respawn
only a
times.
short way.
They're not the jungler, you
Isn't
don't
that
have
a
to.
short joke?
The only thing we don't have much of is vision around the map. So I'm just gonna put that ward there so you can see if anybody comes through either of those
Your
three
commands
areas.
tire me.
Now we should put pressure somewhere else. Now if I go top, it puts 2 people top. Which kind of leaves mid a little bit open, to be honest.
Yes.
You should turn around.
Pray again.
Dominating.
Now, because we did kill that middle inhibitor, we got super pushing, which means it's very hard for them to be able to push middle down, you know, without us being able to react to it. Just
Stop and
slower
pray
development time.
again.
So I'm not going to worry too much about middle and try and push this top lane now. Oh, I don't know. Okay, it's low, but it's not low enough.
Your
Like,
commands tire me.
he's pretty tanky actually. And he still took a lot of damage from the tower.
An enemy has
Now what my
been
team
slain.
did that was kind of silly is they are now fighting in 3 versus 2. Second fight there. Even though we are a lot stronger and farther ahead, they should have realized that the numbers game is really just too much. But because they're doing that 3 versus 4 fight, it gave us that top tower for free because we had them all distracted. And learning how to use the map and use your people like that is something pretty big.
Shut down.
Now, it would have been better if they didn't die. But they should get away.
Has been slain.
So all in all, I think we had 3 deaths and got 3 kills, as well as a top tower. It ends up being worth it. Now, I'm going to start working on building this defensive item.
An
Now,
ally
one
has
of the more
been
advanced
slain.
tactics that you'll need to know how to learn to use is the minions themselves.
enemy's
Like you see how there's a
inhibitor
large amount of
respawns.
minions here? Well, when these minions hit that minions,
Yes.
the next minion wave is going to come up and hit it as well, and there's going to be more minions to beat. If that had hit our tower, it would have probably killed the tower just by itself. And we needed to send somebody bot in order to pick that up. Now what they can do right now that we have someone bottom is they could actually go to this Baron buff and kill it.
The magic. It calls to me.
Should probably kill the dragon and get the gold. Because it's up and available. But, again, new people. I'm not really directing them very much. They don't know how to get all the objectives that are on the map.
Has been slain. Double kill.
The magic. It calls to me.
So now that we have 2 people dead, they could either get this Baron buff, they could get that dragon, they
Your
could try and push and get one of our
command's
towers. This is, you know, these are not level 30s, they're not the max level of the game. Bad idea, Leona, that is 3 people versus 2 person. Even though we are
Stuck in
fed,
prey
it's so
again?
scary. It looks like they're not going to do anything to the advantage they got from killing those people. And that's something, like learning how to use your advantages is something that is the biggest thing new like people in the game don't realize, or level 30s don't know how to use it.
Yes! It's only a short way. Is that a short jump?
Alright, so right now, let's screw up and take the middle inhibitor. That's how you spell inhibitor.
An ally has been
Okay, so he
slain.
just went 1-3 and tried to kill somebody, and ended up getting it.
Yes!
Still in it. So I just evened up the odds now.
Death trembles in my
I've got my defensive item, which is so we should take this dragon.
suffering awaits.
Bad idea. Come here.
It's only a short way. Is that a short joke?
Their jinx will respawn, that's a 45, and we lose. Let's take the dragon. Where is the
Give up now!
So again, I wasn't squishy, I have to keep my distance back here.
Has been slain.
Okay, so we killed 3 of them. Now we can take this for free.
I smell death.
And then we can go get the dragon. Even though we could have killed it, but they were waiting.
Your command.
Like, we haven't... Whatever.
Magic. It calls.
There's still... We could probably kill...
Your command's tiring me.
I use my defense. And I just pull my...
The magic. It calls to me.
Enemy double kill.
Wait for that shield to wear off. Better.
Slain the enemy.
It's only a short way.
We're able to ace them with Jinx
That
is
is
alive.
Dominating.
So I'm gonna run away like a...
Kill.
Oh, wow.
Aced.
Looks like maybe able to win the game with this.
suffering
That's
awaits.
some
Destroyed
faith.
turret.
Yeah, for many a year I was just, I just had like, kind of white mask looking thing for a face. But I finally went out and bought one. Really pleased with it. Glad I did that. Okay, so hopefully that'll
Victory.
help you in just trying out your first game of League of Legends. I feel like I should have said a lot more things, but it's kind of hard when you know a lot to tone it down to be able to explain all the little intricacies.